Muy buenas tardes a todo el mundo.
Muy buenas tardes.
Why are we speaking in Spanish?
Exactly. Good afternoon or good evening. What is that? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another review of ShowReels. We got to remember to call them ShowReels as well.
ShowReels or demo reels, yeah.
Demo show books, demo reels, video,
etc.
It's very complicated, all of this. Welcome to everybody. This is it's the first Thursday in August of, today is the 5th of August of 2021, the year of our Lord, and this is live stream number 298.
Yes, that is only 2 for 300, believe it or not. Wow.
Yeah, so we should probably hit 300 on Monday.
Wow. And it's going to be...
if we were going to be here on
If
Monday.
we're going to be here. Perhaps we're going to do the 300 in there with everybody. What about that?
That's a definite possibility there.
Yes.
So just like everybody else here in Spain, well, actually, like nobody else here in Spain, we're still working. We're still doing our thing, and we're preparing this seminar, this course that we're going to be doing at the end. This incredibly intensive course. Trust you me, it's already pretty intensive, and we haven't even started. We're going to be doing this intensive course right at the end of August in Ciudad Rodrigo, which is in the northwest of Spain, and it's
From the 100 people from the family, 30 people are going to be with us. We're going to try to shoot as much as we can, the best we can, and I'm sure it's going to be great because it's always great. It's always we're having a good time. It's always nice because we are really trying to do our best to really show you whatever we learn from others and in our career, in our experience. And there is also, because it's going to be like that, because it's a very nice bunch of people that had been with us for the last year, for the last almost 300 master classes, and also Q&Rs that we are being Q&Rs. You say Q&R?
Q&As.
Q&As that we've been having all this year, in this pandemic situation.
Are we allowed to talk about the pandemic? Is there a pandemic?
Well,
I have no idea what's happening right now. It seems to be, it's like a movable feast of disasters from one place to the other. But what we do have to do is we have to thank all the people who've been supporting us for the last year through Patreon. This is our Familia de Cine, our film family, who's been traveling with us since 12th of April of last year of 2020.
So for all those of you that are English speaking, or that you want to also learn a little bit who we are, and you want to also be in a Spanish environment, don't doubt if you want to come to our course, because there's still some seats. You say plazas?
Some places.
Some places.
I think we can say places.
Some places. So if you want to come, we can also work in one single thing, which is one monologue or one, whatever you want to do. And
the other thing is, there's a lot of people who are going to be doing things in English.
Yes.
That's going to be, so there's a high proportion of people who are working in English, and I'm sure we're going to have something in Catalan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and hopefully somebody's going to be doing it through the beautiful language of interpretative dance. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking forward to. Well, because that's certainly what I'm going to be doing when I'm there.
Yes, that is Saskia, right?
Interpretative dance. Oh, yeah, that's right. She is. Yeah. She will be tripping the light. Fantastic. So if you need any information, so remember, you can send a pop of an email. Can they send it to here, or should
it's
they?
It's better to the alumnus, because it's kind of a school thing. It's not only Familia de Cine. Because even if it's our first meeting, it's going to be our first meeting after all this year of being together digitally. Now we are going to be together. In flesh, and so on flesh, okay, in the flesh.
I don't know, when you begin to separate it sounds rather dodgy.
It sounds
in the
weird.
flesh.
Yeah, in the flesh. Anyway, so if you want to come, that we are welcome. Please give us an email to alumnos@fundacionfirstteam.org, which is our school, okay? alumnos@fundacionfirstteam.org. That would be great.
I'll put it in the notes afterwards, in case you're watching this on the replay. And if you're watching this and it happens to be another time, well, we're going to repeat it afterwards. But anyway, let's go ahead and do our credits, because otherwise...
Okay.
All right, so give me 1 second, because I got to make certain things disappear here. Right. If you want to do the applaudie thing, I'll do the honors. Today, we're going to be reviewing ShowReels. Right, so here we are. Remember, I'm going to give you that again. So if you're interested, you can go to alumnos at fundacionfirstteam.org. That's if you're interested in the courses that we're going to be doing later in the month. There's not very many places left, so if you are interested, please let us know about it as soon as possible. The other thing I want to say is if you need to... it's disappeared.
I don't know if we set actually the dates, but it's it's from the people are going to be there from the 19th to the 28th, 27th. So you're welcome.
Yeah, and remember, if you want to send us your showreels, photos, we're even having a look at resumes and curriculums. You can send them to me at Scott, which is Scott at familiadecine.com. And that'd be delightful to get everything from you. So tonight's going to be a relatively short show because we have enormous amounts of things to do. But just remember, you can send us your material, and we will always love to review it. So
today is the last day, though, so because next Thursday we're not going to.
Yeah, we're not going to be here next Thursday. But remember, every single showreel that people have sent us over the last 18 months, we have done absolutely all of them, and we must have reviewed probably in excess of maybe 180.
Yeah, no, like two a day.
Yeah, we've done a lot. We've done a lot. It's one of our larger playlists, all of which you can find on our YouTube channel. That's the easiest way to see it, easiest way to go back and look at the other stuff that we've been doing, because we've been speaking to a lot of interesting people over the past year and a half, even though it feels like we started this about, day before yesterday.
Yes.
Between you and me. Right, so let's
go for the demo reel, right? Demo reel of a woman, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, so let's go. Here we go. Right. Just move things around a little bit here. Right, we're back at 0. And
Coucou Christophe.
Everything around our packet is volatile. Raptor 1, we got the package. Get out of here now!
¿En serio? ¿Por qué estás mintiéndome? No te estoy mintiendo. ¿Por qué lloras? Estoy cansada. No soy tonta. ¿Desde cuándo te acuestas con él? No me acuesto con él. ¿Crees que soy idiota? ¿Crees que no lo vi? Sal. Sal de aquí. No quiero una mentirosa aquí. Me dan pena tus padres.
A mí me da pena tu cara.
Vale, llámame cuando te salgan las tetas.
Llámame cuando te salgan a ti.
¿Qué tienes? ¿4 novios?
Exacto.
Vale, diviértete pariendo en la fiesta de fin de curso.
Pareces una fregona vieja.
¿Sabes qué? No eres tan popular como crees.
Sí que lo soy.
Sí. Seguro que lo eres. Muy popular, ¿no?
Eres una vieja solterona que nunca tendrá amigos.
Es una puta.
Je suis tombée amoureuse de toi et j'ai pas osé te le dire parce que je pensais que tu le savais d'une manière ou d'une autre. Et je pensais pas qu'il me restait si peu de temps. Tu sais, le temps, c'est la seule chose dont j'ai pas disposé ces derniers temps. La vie, elle est belle, Christophe. Elle est beaucoup plus belle que ce que tu le penses. Et je le sais parce que t'es tombé amoureux de moi. Je hebt geen idee waarover dat ik het heb. En dat snap ik wel. Maar maak je geen zorgen, want op een dag zal je het ook weten.
Down the road when we settle on this, and we will settle on this, I don't expect any of you to do another hour of the OT again. I don't expect any of you to do any kind of police work ever again. Because the only reason why this isn't in front of the grand jury right now is because the mayor can't live with it. Yeah, the mayor knows your name, so this is your last case.
J'ai adoré danser avec toi.
Okay. Right.
Good.
Réaction.
Wow, impressive. So many languages and all of them.
What was the language
very
in the middle that I
understandable.
didn't understand?
I know. I don't know neither. It's not German.
I can't work out whether it's Arabic or Belgian
I
or,
don't know.
or Flemish.
Flemish, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. Tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
Tell us, Cindy.
Tell us where you're from.
Okay. A couple of things, but perhaps we can see it again, and then we're gonna stopping. Yeah, it says Dutch. Okay.
Okay, Dutch. Good. Thank you for that. Right.
Okay, let's go to see it again.
Okay.
Nice the smile. Nice the way to start.
Coucou Christophe.
But after seeing that, knowing that you have this scene also 2 or 3 times I like to see it all together. It's very nice to see it all together. Don't worry. It's not something that is gonna annoy us or or bore us.
No, and I understand, and I don't know whether you edited it or somebody else, but somebody wanted to come in with a very soft, sweet image and then cut to something which is hard, which is difficult because you're wearing a helmet in an unconvincing way.
But I think you don't need that. People are already used to see that. That's what we all do, to put scenes that they're completely different one after the other, so that people understand, and they remember what they have seen. But if you just do this thing like an image or something, it's a little bit deceiving because then you're saying, well, there was something in the middle that was bad and she took it out.
Yeah.
The editing just it doesn't favor you. Is it the contrary, because, the effect of not being boring, we are not bored yet, and so I don't think that it's necessary that you go from another play thing, just hang in there, in this first scene, which is, intercut 3 or 3 times there, and it's nice. Would be nice to see it all together.
Everything around that packet is foil time. Raptor 1, we got the package.
Right. Go ahead and fire your technical advisor. The reason you wear a helmet down to here, you wear it down to there to stop you getting hit in the forehead.
Yeah, but the problem is that they couldn't see it.
It doesn't matter.
They couldn't see
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. And even more so if you're a female soldier, then you should be even more pedantic about those particular things.
Yes.
But anyway, it's just a small gripe because you're having to do something which is hard for anybody, which is to be a convincing soldier in urban combat.
And that is not.
And
right?
That
is kind of okay. They do that for people to see it, right? A little bit.
I don't know what it is, but the those particular details that people notice because of YouTube and because of our experience and with all of these things that we've all become these sort of accidental experts in so many different things. There's I got to tell you, there's my brother there. My brother's currently in Boreham Woods, waiting to go and do something rather high pressure. I'm not going to say what it is, but all I can say, Ross, is...
Good luck.
Break a leg. All right? Go forth and kick ass. Make us all proud.
And if not, we all always be proud of you. Anyway.
And if it all goes terribly, you give it your best shot.
Yeah.
And we'll go and do that more afterwards. All right? Okay, so... Right, so here we are. My brother's so bored he's watching us. Right, see, you see the thing. Oops.
So you don't believe actually that the helmet is at that?
No. It should be over the four. There's a reason being is that what you're trying to do is you're attempting to reduce the amount of your face which is unarmored. Right, this is a very strong part, but you really want this to be down like that. And it's not just that. Every single helmet historically is doing its best to protect your forehead.
Yes.
You know what I mean. But it's one of those things, and it just sort of sticks out. Right. So let's go back a little bit here.
It's a pity because it's well done.
Yeah. It's well done. It's well done, and you're coming out with plenty of attitude, which is good.
Everything around.
You got the finger off the trigger, which is nice.
Package is
You know?
royal time. Raptor 1, we got the package. Get out of here now!
¿En serio?
This is a very interesting thing, and this is something that I talk about a lot in terms of women in leadership roles, and particularly what's considered to be traditional masculine roles. The confusion sometimes, and this is just an observation that what you're doing works, but it highlights a particular thing that I think not only actresses need to learn, but also actors, which is about being commanding, expressing leadership, and being strong and forceful without being emotional.
Yes. I think it's nicer if that wouldn't be emotional. I understand that we are all the time seeking for this emotion, but it's not really necessary. Who is going to be moved if you are emotional is the people watching you. And that's what you want. That's the effect you want. You don't want them to see that you are crying. What you want as a character, is actually not to cry,
And the other thing, which is very interesting, and we have more access to this now than ever before because of YouTube, is the sound, the nature, and the texture of official, military, police, whatever types of communications. How clear, how crisp, and how particular they are in terms of how we how they're supposed to sound. The people might be frustrated, but the anger is never expressed at the other person. There's an issue. The reason for that is that if we demand something angrily, or in a way that is expressing anger, the other person doesn't hear what they say. They're just intent on diffusing the thing that makes us angry. Okay, and that's one of the things that particularly for a female soldier. Okay, and I can't get away from the fact that we got men and women in combat. For a female soldier, they have to do it like a guy.
Well, it's not really guy or girl anymore. You have a purpose, and this purpose is not to show emotion. Because if you are showing emotion for someone who is dead or someone then you are not really doing your job. Your job is actually to kill and protect others. So you know what I mean. It's not the moment to be emotional. That is why it's not actually part of your job to being emotional. It's very rare that that when you are doing something, because you prepare for that. You prepare for for combat. And when you are in action, it's something that comes with you that you don't because if not, you would be destroyed every time that you pull that trigger, right? So it's
and also the objective is to not pull the trigger.
Exactly. Yes,
warfare is the failure of politics and all that.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting thing because I'm seeing, particularly when people are putting together their own demo reels now, their own show reels, is they're having the opportunity to go out, choose what they're going to do, and shoot it in one way or another. Pardon the pun. And one of the things that people really need to do when they start doing military stuff or procedural stuff, it might be soldiers, it might be police, it might be anybody who's handling guns or weaponry, and it's also things like doctors and nurses and all that kind of thing. These very procedural type things
it comes with the job,
and it needs to be accurate.
Yeah, it needs to be accurate because if not, we don't believe it. Because it's not an attitude, is a purpose. It's not that we have to play police or we have to play strong or we have to play. No, it's like is something that you develop as the actors develop also. The sense of observation more than others. Is something that it comes with the job.
Right. Let's get back to where we were. Right. Let me just flop this around.
And this is wonderful. Altogether should be better.
Right.
Would be better.
Everything around our package is royal time. Raptor 1, we got the package. Get out of here now!
¿En serio? ¿Por qué estás mintiéndome?
No te estoy mintiendo.
Right. First of all, I got to go, because you're the resident expert. ¿Qué tal el español? How's the Spanish?
I see some shades of, someone that is not from a particular country. I hear some things that they are somewhere else. I don't know. I don't identify where.
Okay. But everything's perfectly understandable.
But it's understandable.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And it's interesting and good that you have it subtitled. This is an English showreel, and you have it subtitled in English. And this is a great thing for everybody out there who might have something in multiple languages. Is you may have to do a French one, which means you're going to have to subtitle everything that's not in French, or German and German, etc., etc. Fortunately, now this is pretty easy, and there's a good trick. You can actually put it on YouTube and let YouTube subtitle it. Right, and
but
then
sometimes it's kind of wrong.
No, but then you can download those subtitles, so you got something to start with.
Nice.
If it's understandable.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Top tip.
Top tip.
¿Por qué lloras?
Estoy cansada.
You see, ¿por qué lloras is Argentinian. Lloras. We don't say that in any other country.
¿Lloras?
Sí, ¿por qué lloras? We say lloras instead of lloras. So, ¿por qué lloras is something that comes from Argentina. So we are saying, okay, so she's from Argentina, but it is a long time that she's not there.
But
But
my ass?
Lloras.
Yeah, my ass.
No, your ass, no.
¿Desde cuándo te acuestas con él?
Te acuestas.
Me acuesto con él.
That is the difficult part for you. So these S's that we have. And so we can see it. You can see that. That's why we see that it is long time that you're not in the place.
¿Crees que soy idiota? ¿Crees que no lo vi? Sal. Sal de aquí. No quiero una mentirosa aquí.
No
Me dan
quiero
pena
una
tus
mentirosa.
A mí me da pena.
Padres, that is also kind of weird because you pronounce too much the R, and then it's kind of weird. We have to think a little bit, but anyway, it's okay.
Perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, perfectly acceptable. For an English speaking,
Vale.
yes.
Llámame cuando te salgan las tetas.
Llámame cuando te salgan a ti.
Ah, ¿qué tienes? ¿4 novios?
Exacto.
Vale, diviértete pariendo en la fiesta de fin de curso.
Pareces una fregona vieja.
¿Sabes qué? No eres tan popular como crees.
Sí que lo soy.
Ah, sí. Seguro que lo eres.
Well, my problem here is the actual direction. Who directed there was not very smart. I'm saying that because that is like a parody of someone that that is kind of enjoying to see two women fight with each other with all the bitchness that you can have, and that is always a male thing, and it's I would kill the director, and really I hope it's not you.
Well, the thing for me is I think it's a little, and this is no reflection on you or the other actress or your performances here, although I do have to say something about that. It's turned into something of a rather hackneyed cliche, and I think we're a little better than that these days.
Yes, we have to go away from this cliche because it doesn't help anyone first, and second, it degrades a little bit the women, and I think that now is the period also to erase all this little micro violence or whatever you call it.
Well, this is not micro. This is macro. This is two people attacking each other.
Two people attacking each other, but is the cliche. Is the cliche that attacks us more because the cliche of the women that they're this bitch thing that we don't want to hear it. Not even in a joke.
Unless it's really savage. But this is which you'll see in something like Veep, which is one of the greatest characters ever written.
But what you do is you don't underline everything with the same thing, and that is what it is. There is all the time underlying, the business of these two. And I mean, to me, exactly gets into my nerves. gets into my
Gonna
nerves
keep that
because
for the blooper reel, that one.
it touches places that I heard that it puts me nervous as a woman. And well, it's not that. Also, it's a way of acting that is kind of passé. Is from South American, perhaps very remote countries. But you know what I mean. People are now very well.
I think there's a sort of whole Almodovar thing there, but just let me explain. It's very much a man's perception of how women interact, as you said in the start of this. And just to mention, this is not a reflection on you. This is more an observation on the sort of things where you got
yes, but it's
two
true.
women being bitchy to each other.
Yeah, but it's true that when you have that in a video book, you have to think, okay, I did this in the Any Favor to Women. Okay. 2, I did something that it's really the people can appreciate my work as an actress. Not really, because it's all the time the same. So I don't have any variation. 3, there is a lot of nuances and between the context and between one line or the other. Not really. So perhaps it's better not to put it.
Yeah, but
and the 4th one is gonna be this text annoying to someone.
There's certain things which I think we can all profit from by having a look. There's certain acting habits that are here, which you see. I'm very much saying that somebody's given a very generalized, just be totally bitchy to each other.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have been particularly profoundly directed or profoundly understood. Right. And so we're going to go from here. It looks like very much it was done in the same place.
Sal de aquí. No quiero una mentirosa aquí. Me dan pena tus padres.
A mí me da pena tu cara.
Yes,
Vale.
it's in the same place.
Llámame cuando te salgan las tetas.
Llámame cuando te salgan a ti.
Right. Okay.
There must be an exercise or something.
Yeah, it might be. The ironic laughter. Okay. The reason that we do that is because we feel stupid about something that we're saying, or we feel uncomfortable with the way we feel. We do that in life. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We do that when we tell lies as well, as we kind of laugh through the lie that we're telling. It's basically my theory is that we're micromanaging stress hormone levels in our body, and what we do is we feel stressed, so we offset that with laughter. So what it does is it brings us back to zero again. The stress of lying takes it down, so we laugh, so it actually brings it back to zero, so we feel okay again. The thing we have to do as actors, we actually have to give into it and drive into that thing. We have to accept it and feel, we're going to feel bad, we're going to feel bad.
Yes.
It's what we do to keep ourselves out of darkness, as it were. All right.
When I did things like that, or people made me do things like that, I always immediately I had that rebellion myself. I couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it. But why? Because it's not true. It's really not true. There is very, very few times where two women would be like that for a minute. I never experienced one. In movies, yes, I've seen it a lot of times. But it comes from the 80s. This thing. I remember that in the 80s, the people liked to have this kind of fights between women, and it's really infuriating. It was really infuriating then, and it is now, because I think we have to. Have the responsibility to tell the others that we are sisters, and we, of course, we can think differently. Of course, we can have different opinions. But there is this fundamental principle that we have to show in our things that we do, because video book demo reel is nothing else than actually to show something that you're proud of. Demo reel is something that you want to show the others how you perform, how you also think a little bit, because the things in movies are also so near to you, and these passions and these desires and everything can be, something that reveals also a little bit of you, and if it's not like that, then if it just, you don't have time to explain too much things, in the demo reel, you really have to go for it for something that is also part of you that you're proud. Just think about it.
All right. Okay, let me get back to here.
¿Crees que soy idiota? ¿Crees que no lo vi? Sal.
But why we do that again? We've seen it already.
Because it's about to go into
Me
here.
dan pena tus padres.
A mí me da pena tu cara.
Vale, llámame cuando te salgan las tetas.
Llámame cuando te salgan a ti.
Ah, ¿qué tienes? ¿4 novios?
Exacto.
Vale, diviértete pariendo en la fiesta de fin de curso.
Awful the
Es una
text.
fregona vieja.
Awful the text, awful everything. Not believe
¿Sabes
for a
qué?
second.
No eres tan popular como crees.
Sí que lo soy.
Ah, sí, seguro que lo eres. Muy popular, ¿no?
Eres una vieja solterona que nunca tendrá amigos.
Es una puta.
I wouldn't put that myself. I'm very nervous. No.
It's just kind of bad writing, bad
It's
directing.
bad writing, bad directing, bad acting, bad image of women, bad everything.
It doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work.
Sorry, silly. It's
And-
not
and-
your fault. I'm sure that you
No.
as we've seen, you are in a place where they give you text and you do whatever you can do with the text, and you don't have any say on the text, and that is a problem when you are showing things of yourself and you're paying for it.
And this is not a feminist point that we're making here. This is a point about authenticity, because really the most important thing that you can show anybody in your show reel, hence the name, is some degree of authenticity in who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's really what people want to see. One of the reasons that Assumpta was saying that when you start out with the speaking to camera and you're speaking in French and you cut and you go straight to the military thing, is we want to see more of that, because we actually want to see who you are. We want to see how this is, because the first image you give is you have a crew cut, you have a shaved head, and that already says something about us, about you. But then you go into something which is very soft and very, very gentle and very
It's nice, very nice.
and very empathetic. So you're already carrying those two contradictions. That one particular contradiction there. Anyway, let's keep going with this.
Je suis tombée amoureuse de toi et j'ai pas osé te le dire. Parce que je pensais que tu le savais d'une manière ou d'une autre. Et je pensais pas qu'il me restait si peu de temps. Tu sais, le temps, c'est la seule chose dont j'ai pas disposé ces derniers temps. Ah, la vie, elle est belle, Christophe. Elle est beaucoup plus belle que ce que tu le penses. Et je le sais parce que t'es tombé amoureux de moi. Je hebt geen idee waarover dat ik het heb. En dat snap
It's
ik
very
wel.
nice and very well played, this little bit. You shouldn't cut it. You should put it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's
I think you're laughing because you feel uncomfortable, though, not because it's a decision you've made.
Really? I think that is beautiful. This smile, whatever it is.
No.
and why the
It's
reason
beautiful.
it is.
It's beautiful like that. But we've come to buy that sort of thing. But I think it's a little. I'm not sure whether that was the decision to make. You try and make the decision that you're going to. I'm going to say this and laugh at the same time. It's a pretty tough decision to make.
But it's nice because she wants to show, she's talking to him and she shows, her absolutely happiness. It's nice.
Yeah, but it's the same level. It's the same level of look. It's like comedy is very, very serious. Happiness is something to be, be taken seriously. I think it's got more to do with direction than anything else.
It's unexpected. You don't feel. I don't know, Scott. You don't. You know what I mean? It's not expected, and that's why it's nice, because it's a surprise, really.
Okay.
I kind of buy
Okay.
it.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that
That-
how things, these
How it's produced.
these two where the road divides, whether I'm going to take what I'm saying and express the authentic feeling that I have, or I'm going to have a laugh about it. I'm going to laugh about it because it's too hard to say.
Well,
That's
Yeah.
I'd do one and then the other. But anyway, that's just me. Anyway,
Okay.
meanwhile, back in Dutch.
Maar maak je geen zorgen, want op een dag zal je het ook weten.
down the road when we settle on this, and we will settle on this. I don't expect any of you to do another hour of the OT again. I don't expect any of you to do any kind of police work ever again. Because the only reason why this isn't in front of the grand jury right now is because the mayor can't live with it. Yeah, the mayor knows your name, so this is your last case.
Yeah, I see a little bit of kind of a black... She's trying to do like a...
No, well, the unfortunate thing we have here is you're doing something which is obviously from an American TV show, and it says grand jury, and it says the mayor, and it says all these sort of things. So it's using all this American patois, as well, procedural patois. You know, it's like, all I need is 24 hours. You know, it's one of those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn it, you're the worst lawyer I've ever seen, and we're going to, you know, they're going to throw all the evidence out. It's one of those sorts of things. The trouble with it is that it's so particular in terms of where it's supposed to sound like it's from, that when it doesn't sound like it sounds supposed to sound like where it's from, it grates, it jars. Your accent has a greater influence from the United Kingdom. That if you're going to do something in English, I would have a tendency to lean towards that. The other thing is if you're doing something which is very animated, because your English is going to be flawless when you're, you know, in conversational English. I know that you have no hesitation whatsoever. The thing is, the minute we start acting in a different language, and the minute we start being very driven in what we're saying, or that we're emotional in what we're saying, the first thing that happens to us is the accent begins to slip. Mm-hmm. Okay, because the need to communicate becomes more important than the need to sound like we are from a certain place. It's a very, very tricky thing to try and do. Particularly this accent, because it's the sort of thing which doesn't live in the same place. It uses a different, you know, architecture, different embouchure than you would use when you're normally speaking English, you know, and that would certainly take a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of repetition to get to the place where it actually sounded like it was supposed to be from, you know, which is kind of tricky.
But I can say on your favor that, you know, that one can see that you don't have a problem to speak English and being emotional, which is the two things that when someone is is starting with this language is always the problem there. But you don't, and you see that, you know, it's little things that with work or if given a job, you can actually better it. So as a casting director, as a director who is the one that demo reel is is designed for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's okay because you can see that you have this ability to speak quickly, to speak with exactly where to put it
speaks with precision.
The precision, and also that also the stresses are good, I think.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense, yes.
It's just that when the curious thing about English, particularly if you're British like I am, you watch something and immediately you're trying to work out where somebody's from. Mm-hmm. Now it's fallen into disrepute, the idea of asking somebody where you're from. It's now considered to be a microaggression and to be quasi-racist. I ask people where they're from because I'm interested in knowing where they're from, because I want to identify their accent in terms of the way they're speaking, and that's in no way pejorative or a criticism or finding fault in what they're doing. It's because I love accents and I'm very curious about the original languages and how that affects the way people speak and how that's filtered through English. Because for me, what's very interesting in terms of doing an accent, somebody who's a non-native speaker, when they speak English, is the most important thing after where they're from is where did they learn English? Because you can find somebody who may be from India, but they learned English in Scotland, in Glasgow. There used to be a bus driver in Scotland, and in Glasgow, so he would speak with the Indian thing, and he would go, I'm just going down the tune. So then there'd be this curious mixture of the influence of his original language and accent on the English he spoke in the Glasgow that he grew up around. And it's for example, it's very different. I had to play German once, in the play 12 Angry Men, and the question is, did he learn English? Because if you're speaking like a German and you learned your German in New York, it's a little bit more different than if you learned it in Cambridge. So it's going to sound very different depending on where you're from. It's going to sound very. So those are the things which give us detail. But as Assumpta says, 100% understandable, 100% clear.
For to give you a role in English, people are going to say, "Oh yes, she can."
Yeah,
do
she
it.
can do that all day.
Yeah.
You know, she can play the Interpol,
Whatever. Yeah. well, she
the
can play
Interpol
whatever.
detective. I buy that.
Exactly.
You know, there's absolutely no issue there whatsoever. Right, coming back here. Right, I'm sorry, because when we pop off to the other thing, it all right, let's go. Now I want to hear it again.
Expect any of you to do another hour of the OT again. I don't expect any of you to do any kind of police work ever again. Because the only reason why this isn't in front of the grand jury right now is because the mayor can't live with it. Yeah, the mayor knows your name. So this is your last case.
That's very black for me.
Well, no, it's kind of it's a southern thing.
Southern thing. Yeah.
You know, it's curious because the thing is, whenever you're having to do an accent, either find somebody who's very good with accents or find somebody who's a native, get them to read it. You know, Crystal, who's here, who's Baton Rouge. You know, this is the great thing about this sort of community that we have. For example, we had one of the people in our community who needed to do a casting, and they had to be Mexican. They live here in Madrid. Now, I don't have any Mexicans. Well, are there any Mexican people here? But there was somebody else who's a guy called Mike Alexandra who lives in Mexico City, and he most of the time is working with a Mexican accent. So I could put them together, and he could give her the pointers, and she could, you know, approximate what the Mexican was going to sound like. It's really, really important, and now it's easier than ever to find somebody who can help you out. Go on Clubhouse, you know. It's another great thing to do. I've spent a lot of time in Clubhouse with people who are practicing their accents, their English accents, or British actors who are trying to sound American. That's the other thing there. Okay, right, here we go.
So this thing I don't understand. Or is you long time ago? I don't recognize
Before
you
she
there.
before she cut her hair, presumably.
I don't recognize you. Okay, it's because the hair, of course. Oh, yes, I understand.
And it's British.
It's British, yeah.
Do you know why I know it's British?
Because the building's behind.
No, it's that sign. You see the sign up here? That
yes.
looks like a British.
Oh, like a British
It's a
underground tube.
British rail sign. British rail sign.
Rail, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, j'ai adoré danser avec toi.
I would put that together
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning. It's a nice thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that though. You don't need that. I wouldn't put it. You?
I'm not a big fan. The trouble is when people are emotional in their showreels, you know, if it's within the context of a scene, it can work well. But usually when people are resisting emotion, when the emotion is there, kind of like this, it's kind of like, all right, I can't really get anything out of it.
You know why? It's because it's like, okay, I don't understand the action of the character here. I just see an actress that is actually crying. You do that, okay, and then you are not there with him anymore. So you were all nicey, and then you are alone. But it doesn't seem you are alone. Because if one is alone, why to look at the camera? You know, there is things that I don't understand. You know, what is this woman wants? I know that it's nice that after all this nicey you do that, but also it's a cut, so it's a little bit of you know, you come from another place, so it's not. If it would be like all of it together, you know, some like you are and then it's all the darkness on you. Then it's nice, but. With this cut, I don't see it. Why? I just you showing that you can cry. We already seen it.
Yeah, look. One of the things I would say directorially, if I can say this, let me just come right to the end here.
Oh, look at nice. Crystal Williams Brown say, "Oh, I would always be happy to help anyone."
There we go.
Thank you, Crystal.
Fabulous actress, Crystal. Right. Okay. So. The other thing I have to say is whoever put this together went a little bit far on the on-screen display.
Yeah.
Right, because I've got 1080p, I've got record, I've got 60 minutes left on the battery, and I've got a time code. Right? Advice to everybody, just put a little flashing rec in the top right-hand corner.
And that's it, yes. Because if not, the people are going to be distracted for all these lines, and you want them to see you.
Yeah. Maybe we should have one up here. We should have a little flashing
We
rec.
have already a lot. Video books, live,
I
the
know,
preview,
right.
fresh, finish.
We have that. And we've got, and we have...
5 minutes later.
That's so true.
Right. So, okay. Right. The 400-pound gorilla in the room is, let's talk hair.
Hair. Well, hair limits you to certain roles that you already expressed that you can do very well, like the police, like the woman of a certain age that you already had happens things with her. But it's true. You limits a little bit the idea. It's like me. I have to wear wigs sometimes. I'm not gonna play a queen like that, or I'm not gonna play a woman of 70 years old like that. So there are things that limits or actually put you in a place or in a context. So just think about it. If you are like that and you want to be like that in your personal life, well, there is a lot of wigs and stuff that you can do, but wigs cost money, and people are looking all the time for the right people, and there is too many people in the world for that role. So but anyway, I'm sure that if you show there that you are a very good actress, so it's not a problem for me, but perhaps for other people, that they want something quick, like television is, or sometimes period pieces, I don't think there's a problem. But for day to day, that puts you in a very special drawer. It's just for you to understand that the profile is very typified. Then it's like the one that you had, is always different. You are always something special, and I think that is good also that we can do normal women of our age.
But the other thing is it just happens to be that you've got like a crew cut. You have very short hair, very very short hair, but it's as extreme as if you had if you were a platinum blonde, or you had dreadlocks, or any of those things, is that when it's called for, it's going to work like gangbusters. When it's not called for, it's going to be just too big a doubt. One of the things that happens in television is that people want to make everything as simple as possible.
Yeah,
and
as quick as possible.
But if you're dealing with something which is a modern woman who's in authority, or it could be any one of a number of things. You could be a nurse, you could be a doctor, you could be a social worker, you could be, we've seen you've already been a soldier. There's many different things that you could fall into. You could be the lawyer, all of those different things.
You could be a tough woman, you could be, lesbian, you could be, but it's typified.
Yeah, they're going to fall into those particular cliches, and that's just it's always a very interesting thing that actors and actresses, what they have a tendency to do, kind of like us really, is they have a tendency to fall into a kind of neutrality of kind of stylelessness. That the guys always have their hair slightly long and they got a beard going on.
In case that they can,
the women are kind of like, they don't have bangs, they don't have a fringe, because, they might need to have something which is a little bit more, that you could do something with it. It's interesting.
It's just to be ready to play everything. Here you're not ready to play everything. Just for you to know, just to consider. It's always good, I think, that someone reminds you of that.
Yeah, and the other thing, because this is the thing that we got. I want to show this because there's also a photo. 1 second, let me just talk amongst yourselves. Back in a moment.
Yes. Well, anyway, but apart from the things that I think that that they harm you a little bit, all the rest, very competent actors, love the thing that you have different accents, love that it's what we call in Spain todo terreno.
Right. Let me just go ahead and drop that in there. Right. How do we feel about that?
Well, I think that it doesn't help you very much because I want to see your eyes. I want to see more light on your eyes. I want to see you. And I think
the great thing about this picture is that you are of such indeterminate ethnicity that it's a very, very useful picture right now.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because you have a kind of universal sort of ethnicity going on, and this is certainly something which is which is a kind of nice and interesting thing that's happening in casting right now. Because nobody could ever necessarily accuse you of being from the Highlands of Scotland. You might be, but you don't have those identifiable kind of Northern European things going on there. Even if you might be, I mean, that's the curious thing. So I think that is,
it's interesting.
And I don't want to be mercenary, but you could go and do very good work somewhere because somebody thinks they're ticking a box.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a preposterous thing that occurred.
You mean like a box of...
like an ethnicity box or whatever it might be. And we had a peculiar thing that there's a very big voiceover studio here where they do a lot of dubbing of foreign films. And they were asking
our
family
people, of cinema.
Yeah, they were asking people who were going to do voiceover work there what their sexualities were.
Very weird. And now the studios want to have that into their files.
And they don't care.
No, it's just because they have to justify that they've done a job with so many different orientations of genre. It's a very...
Everything's
it's
a little
very
bit
impolite thing to say to someone. You don't think so?
Yeah. I mean, how are you going to prove it?
It's like, okay, yes, I'm lesbian. Okay, good.
Can you prove that for me, please?
Well,
Susie, come in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, put that down. Come here. Yeah, I need you to help me out. Help me out with another one. You know what I mean? It's
Anyway,
yeah.
so that
No. All road. No, all road.
is
Todo
todoterreno.
terreno is all terrain.
Really, you can say all terrain.
All terrain, an all-terrain vehicle. An ATV is an all-terrain
But you
vehicle.
say it when someone actually can do everything?
No, you say they're a jack of all trades.
jack of all trades. That's it. That is much better.
But there's a
expression.
second part of that, which is a jack of all trades,
It's none.
master of none.
Master of none. Exactly.
That's one of the things.
Okay.
A jack comes from it's the generic term for usually a man who would do a job.
Oh, I
Like
see.
for a man who fixed steeples,
like
you know
an artisan.
sort of like the man who fixed steeples. You know what a steeple is? Steeple is the spire on a church.
Artisan, I would say.
And
artisan.
they were called steeplejacks.
I see.
And also objects were called jacks. Like that's why el gato, that to lift up a car.
Mm-hmm. I want to see where there is this thing that it says, "The more you know."
The more you know. And Crystal is a Jane of all trades.
A Jane of all trades.
Right,
Yes.
love that.
Jack or Jane. Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody. That's been our show. Thank you very much for sending us that, Cindy. Hopefully that's been helpful.
We'll have a little bit of holidays, so we're going to come back in September. But anyway, whatever you want to give us, for instance, demo reels, we're going to, put them in the file, and we're going to do it next
and
September.
definitely come back. Remember, you can send us anything regarding showreels, demo reels, etc. to scott@familiadecine.com. Remember, you can always visit our webpage, which is familiadecine.com. If you're interested in joining us here in all the madness and you appreciate what we're doing, all this lovely, lovely content, and enjoy listening to us, and you can come to patreon.com/Assumpta Serna, and we have an incredibly vibrant, interesting, motivated, and committed group of people.
And a lot of us speak English, so...
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to come.
Yeah, no. It's a great proportion of that. In fact, one of the things that if we get enough people that our private Zooms, I don't mind having doing an all English night as well. That's one of the things I would love to do.
Say, Crystal, great show. We'll miss you. I'll be in Austin with Sun for 1 week. Other than that, I'll miss you both and the reels.
Well, remember, anything you need, you can feel free to get in contact with us for whatever you need. It was lovely to be able to give you a little bit of advice when you asked me a few weeks ago.
And if you want to become part of this family, you just have to join us through patreon.com /Assumpta Serna, and we'll be still there all Tuesdays for the family. So it's not that we're gonna go away.
No.
We are there to just be with each other.
That's what it's all about.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, everybody. That's been our show for tonight. Remember to send us your stuff. Look us up. Follow us on. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us. Remember, please follow us if you're on Facebook right now. Like the page, because we have more people following us than like us, which is very, very peculiar. Follow the page. Also, YouTube. Feel free to drop in. Next week, I will be being interviewed by the Awesome Sauce podcast about my work in doing the voice of Carnage in the Spider-Man cartoons of the 1990s.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that. So that will be going out at about 6 p.m. New York time, because they're over in New York. That's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, okay.
Next Tuesday. Oh my God, that's next Tuesday. I can't do it.
That is 2 days. Why not? You cannot do it.
I can't do it because we got the Zoom.
Yeah, at 8. At 6, yes.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. No, it's 6 o'clock their time. I can do it because it's after. It's 6 o'clock in New York, which means it's like midnight here. That's all right. I'll be fine. Anyway, so that's apparently going to be live on their channel. We're just putting together all the stuff, finishing up all the material that we're going to be sending out to everybody for this course we're doing at the end of the month, which we're very excited about.
This meeting of 30 people?
It's going
and we're going to have a little bit of merchandise too to show you when we come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Medical equipment and condoms, basically. That's what it's all going to be about. Right. But until then, thank you very much for being with us. I've been Scott Cleverden.
I'm being Assumpta Serna.
And in a few weeks, as we say in Spanish, mañana más y mejor. But this time we're just going to say onwards.
And upwards.
That's the one. And this is us. We're back. This is the after show. So, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I have to finish like 2 or 3 things.
All right. Yeah, I have to finish 2 or 3 things as well.
Oh, 4.
At least.
But yes, today has been a weird day. I think that I need to
it's
go.
Very hot.
To go also away from my computer
I think
soon.
I think that might be an idea. Me too. We've been driving ourselves crazy. And it's also incredibly hot. As earlier in the thing said, who was it that said that it's 40 degrees, Elizabeth Sands? Dear friend.
My dear Spanish friends.
40 degrees in Sevilla. Wow. Oh.
Yes, please. Have you read Jason's book?
Jason Salke, which came out.
Jason Salke, yes, it came out. Okay.
Yeah, it's called From the Crimea with Love.
Okay.
I think it should have been called Crimea River. Crimea River. But that's it's the only thing I'm good at.
So where we can buy it in Amazon?
I think you can get it. I get it on Amazon. We get special thanks in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This is a book which was written by Jason Salke, one of the leading actors in the series of films about Sharp, starring Sean Bean. And Assumpta was in the first 3 of them, and I did one of them. And that's where we met. So
it's a nice thing for us.
So we've taken part in some very interesting podcast. There was a great podcast that we did with Paul McGann and Brian Cox and David Troughton.
And Jason is a very good teller. So
storyteller.
Storyteller. So I really would love to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. That's us
good
for now.
Good for holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. Have fun, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.